Okay, so my takeout is on arbitraries and the meaning of life. And what I took from this chapter is just a few questions that you should ask yourself. Just focusing on like what life means to you personally. And I like what they mentioned here. And by the way, I'm still on this book by Robin Sharma. And he said one of the dominant traits of extraordinary people that I've worked with as successful coaches is the discipline of being more reflective than most of us. So that is asking yourself profound questions. Good questions that lead to excellent answers and greater quality, and also the greater quality of your DNA and your own authenticity, and also success and personal greatness. So just your road to success and personal greatness. And there are 5 big questions that cause you to really go deep within yourself and truly count what life means to you. And these questions that I went over is like, do you dream richly? Do you love fully? The other one is, do you learn to let go? Do you love well? And then, do you tread lightly on the earth and leave it better than what you found it? And yeah, like these are just like questions that that you can ask yourself, and almost like find new fresh breath and new fresh meaning to what life actually means to you, especially in times like these, these times of uncertainty. We definitely need to dig deeper in ourselves and ask ourselves that question, and then just hope to arrive at answers that will help you and will help you live a more authentic life with passion and joy and also clarity. So that was my takeout from this chapter.
Okay, you. Okay, so mine is on the book Start With Why, still. I'm going to go with assumed or perceived truths. So we make assumptions about the world around us based sometimes on incomplete or false information. Usually information offered to us is either incomplete or false, like I said, and minor details is either left out or not put in. When that happens, small changes in details like dates, time, or people specifically can change it to story completely. This is important because our behavior is affected by assumptions or perceived truths. We basically make decisions on what we think we know. So I'm just going to give a little bit of an example. It was not too long ago, under the book, it says here, it was not too long ago, many people believed the world was flat. This perceived truth impacted behavior. During this period, there was very little exploration. People feared that if they traveled too far, they might fall off the edge. So for the most part, they played safe. When they finally found out that the world is actually round, a lot of changes came about, a lot of good changes. More discovery was made, societies began to travel the planet, traded routes were established, spices were traded, new ideas like mathematics were shared between societies, which unleashed all kinds of innovative and advancements. So if you put that for us specifically, and how that would apply to us in our daily basis, in this current time, everybody's feared because they're hearing things, but it's incomplete or it's not the full truth in that sense. That's why I would say it's upon each of us to take it into our hands, go research, whether it's for the COVID-19, for the lockdown period, whether it's for a business that you want to start, however or whatever it might be. Go do your research, get all the data you need, and just get it done. Because I know fear can be a big thing, and fear will limit us, especially when everything around us is basically limited information and not checking. So don't let that perceived truths, what you think is true, stop you and kind of just stop you from growing as well as from advancing and moving forward in life. Yeah, that's mine.
Yo, alright guys, today I got something special for us. It's when I read off something quickly. Don't be afraid to work with the best. That's the heading. Alright, so I just want to read something. The best people can be difficult. They are single-minded. They are tunnel vision. That's what makes them good. They are reluctant to compromise. They can be intimidating, especially to the young. But if you approach them with an attitude that you are wanting to do something well, they will respond positively because they want to do something well too. If you are not clear about what you want and strong about getting it, there may be an argument, there may be disrespect. They will then respect you for being honest. If not at the time, but afterwards. Chances of you becoming away with a superior job is not guaranteed, but it's greater than if you had worked with an average nice guy. So that's a major takeaway from my side. If I look at it, all of us, don't be afraid to work with the best. Like, I've been in this industry now 10 years, guys, in the fitness industry, and I've never come across someone as great as Garth Hendricks, if I could mention his name now. Yes, we can all agree as a team, EFF here, he's single-minded, but he's tunnel vision because he only succeeds on success. He wants the best for us as a team and anyone out there. You know, he's willing to help any entrepreneur grow a business, achieve success in their life, no matter what it is. And the nice takeaway from this that I want to mention out is attitude. And this takes me back to Papa. Just to say one word that he says, your attitude determines on how far you are willing to go in life and how happy you will be and successful in life. So once again, I read that quote out that is from the start. Don't be afraid to work with the best. That's my biggest takeaway from myself today, guys.
Thanks, Coach. It was a nice preach.
Hey guys, so my takeaway is basically just about the boundaries that we set for ourselves and expanding that. So I think it's always like amazing when you have this realization that the potential we have as humans to literally be able to do absolutely anything that we want to just by setting our mind to it. So the takeaway is try something new and fail if that may be the case, but you do need to try. And when you fail, if you fail, it just means that you are working on your personal boundaries, and you will soon find a way to expand that boundary, and you will get through it, and you will basically identify the potential that you have within yourself. So I think everybody naturally sets boundaries, or you have an idea that maybe you can't do something for whatever personal reason. Like if I look at something simple as the push-up challenge, like when I started, like in my mind it was like, okay, I can't do 25 push-ups, but I'm just going to do it anyway and I'm going to try. And you get through it, and by the end of the challenge, I will be able to do 25 push-ups like non-stop comfortably. So that is like just a simple example of a boundary that you set. Okay, I cannot do 25 push-ups, that's a boundary. But now I'm going to try. I do that. And what happens once you try? You start expanding that boundary. Eventually, I'm able to do the 25 push-ups. So that's a takeaway. When you push yourself beyond your limits, you discover your inner potential, which you never thought you already had.
So I'm finishing the leader in you, Dale Carnegie. I'm finishing it. This is the last takeaway from the book. It's the power of enthusiasm. And we obviously all know how important this is. You know, we're the ones who bring the energy that passion through, and also that enthusiasm. So the book describes enthusiasm as like this. It says enthusiasm is a feeling that comes from the inside. Do not confuse this with a boisterous hype. Yes, increased movement and strong projection sometimes accompany the inner feeling, but that is not enthusiasm. That is just like fake enthusiasm. So basically, enthusiasm is just your passion. So in the book, it also talks about Neil Armstrong, and it says in his flat Ohio voice. There we go. So we all know how that sounds like, one giant step, man. So that kind of accent, right? So he speaks just like that, but he's speaking like very flat. He's not like jumping on the spot. He's not like screaming on the top of his lungs, but he's like basically when he walked the moon, he said, that's one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. And by him even saying this, firstly, everyone knows his saying, and by him saying this, just was like a wow, that is amazing. And that enthusiasm from his voice, even though it was like flat in that accent, it came through, right? Because he's passionate about what he does and what he did, and he's excited about it, and he's showing it through those simple words. So how are we doing that? Like God says, when we're doing our goal settings, bring that excitement, bring that enthusiasm through the screen. And why are we doing that? We're not doing it because, we want to hype people up, but it's because we're actually passionate about helping them. We actually want to help them, and we want to show them that it is possible. And we're doing that by using simple words, simple, powerful words. We're doing that by showing them testimonials. We're doing that with the tone in our voice as well. We don't have to be doing handstands and doing cartwheels and having a whole carnival to show people. We can just literally be speaking in this tone, but yet coming across to them will be enthusiasm. So all you need for enthusiasm is two things, okay? You need eagerness, so you need to be eager to help. You need to be willing to help as well, and also be there, and also assurance. So by you having these two components, right, you will have the confidence in the ability to actually show people that you can get results from them, that you can actually help them through this, that you can break through this misbeliefs that they are giving us, right? And then on top of that, because you are a trustworthy person, so now you're giving them eagerness, giving them the assurance as well, so now they can trust you. You have the credibility as a coach. You have the credibility as a person, because it's not just with us coaches, but it's with everyone out there. When you're creating that profile for yourself, automatically that enthusiasm will come out. So look at Garth as well. He's not that necessarily the most exciting person. Like for instance, like Mikael and Garth is like, salt and pepper. But when Garth is talking, because he's so passionate about what he is doing and what he did before as well, it comes through, and people look at that. I'm not saying that they don't look at Mikael, he just has a different type of personality, but I'm just making an example. He's flat, he sees it how it is, but yet people look at him, they see that trustness in his eyes, they see that credibility, and they see that enthusiasm coming out, and that is why they will always continue to come back. And he's building that in us as well, and we can see it. You can see your clients are absolutely loving you. They think you're like the best thing under the freaking sun. Coach Mickey, Coach Nico, Coach Kelly, everyone is just like obsessed with us. That's why, because we show them that they can trust us, we show them that we're capable of helping them, and on top of that, we have the credibility as well. So never underestimate the power of enthusiasm, because it can definitely change someone's day. That's my takeaway.
Awesome. Okay, we got 10 minutes. Coach, preach. Okay. Come on, we want to hear some scriptures, Coach. You stop the scriptures now.
Okay. Okay, my takeaway is from the scripture, from the Bible, okay? I'm taking this scripture from the book of Matthew chapter 14, verse from 22 till 33. And in this scripture, I'm going to speak about fears and doubts. So, okay, I'm just going to read it quickly. So it says, then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and beginning to sink, cried out, Lord, save me. Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. You of little faith, he said, why did you doubt? So I'm going to just stop there, and I'm going to bridge from there. Okay, we know Jesus and everything. Now, Peter was one of the disciples, right? And one of the believers, one of the said, like, okay, I'm gonna follow Jesus. I'm gonna follow. So I said, I'm gonna do something. And he did do something that Jesus did. He walked on waters, right? But the moment that he started seeing the wind, the moment that he started feeling the wind, he was afraid and he began to sink. So my takeaway is pretty much like, we can't do the impossible. We can't do everything that we set our minds to, you understand? However, there is wind, there is storms, there is water, there is everything around us. You understand? We all say it's the media, it's the neighbors, the families, whatever. But like, what's happening inside of you? What are the thoughts? What are the doubts that you tell yourself? Do you understand? Those are the things that actually make a human being to sink. Those are the things that make entrepreneurs, business, every single person not to move forward. Do you understand? Like when let me just use this biblical example. When Peter was looking at Jesus, he was looking at his goal. He was like, okay, I want to go where Jesus is. I want to reach him. Us as individuals, we want to achieve something. We want to have multiple locations as business. We want to get married. We want to have our house. We want to have our families and so forth. You understand? And that's our goals. But like along the way, there is wind, and we give so much importance of the wind we give so much attention to the wind that we forget where we're going. We give so much attention to the people speaking about us that we forget where we're going, and we sink. It's simple as that. We just sink. We fall into depression. We something that God says all the time. We get fat. You know, we just like we fall off the track. We fall off the wagon. Do you understand? Simply because we lose focus on where we're going. And Jesus comes and says, "You of little faith." In other words, like, why didn't you believe that you can achieve? Like, why did you all of a sudden, like halfway through, like you fell? Like, what happened? Do you understand? You of little faith. Why did you doubt? You see, that's what the scripture is trying to say. Like, why are we doubting ourselves? Why are we doubting where we're going? Do you understand? Yes, there is pandemic, there is everything happen, but like, why are you doubting that you can push through? Why are you doubting that, you know, everything will be okay? Let me say. Why are you doubting that, you know, we will expand? We're not doubting though. I'm not saying we're doubting. We believe that, okay, we're gonna push through. I mean, our work is speaking for ourselves. We're not posting about it. Yes, we're doing this, we're doing that. Our work is showing, which is great. You understand? But the wind is there. The wind is there. Like, out of each and every one of us here, I'm sure the wind is blowing. I'm sure there is a family member that is criticizing you. I did have that. Someone telling me, okay, you're dying out of working too much. I did have that. It happened to me. That just motivated me to keep going. You understand? Because I could feel the wind and like, okay, in my mind I was like, okay, I'm gonna push through this wind. You understand? That was exciting for me. You understand? Even though it was, but anyways, it was exciting for me. So, like God said it earlier, you want to have people like this speaking bad about you and everything. You understand? That just shows that you're in the right direction. But like, one thing that you have to control, need to be able to rule over is the doubts that come onto your mind. Because it's not someone that's gonna create a doubt in you. The thought will be born inside of your mind. Do you understand? But like, how you deal with it, like how you handle that, it's just simply like, okay, let me see what I'm going. Let me just push through. You choose to block what you don't want to see. You feel it though. You feel the burn. You feel the wind. You feel everything. But like, you choose to keep going, and it's a decision that you take. You see. So let's not become people of little faith. We have faith. We believe in ourselves. We believe in our product. So we know where we're going, and let's just go. And yeah, that's my preaching today, guys.
Awesome. It's a nice one. Okay, so my takeaway. I've got 5 minutes. I'm onto a new book. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's all about human growth mechanisms. So it's basically, it touches on exactly what Coach Alvis just spoke about now. Is our belief in ourselves, and knowing that each one of us right here, all of us, each and every single one of us has a growth mechanism. We're destined for growth. We are destined for success. It's in each and every single one of us. So cybernetics is the study of the mechanism that allows growth. Okay? It's like a machine. So the way I'm like probably in the second chapter So right now they say it's kind of like a computer. Our brain works like a computer, right? And we get perceptiles, which is we perceive things through our senses, right? And our brain formulates chemicals that create an automatic response. For example, I'll give you a quick example. When you look at something on a table, like some water, and you want to take the cap off, we're not thinking, okay, I need to use specific muscles in my fingers to turn it to the left. We automatically just doing this, but the body, the brain, is hitting all those muscles in our fingers to turn it to the left without us thinking, okay, I need to turn this muscle, I need to switch on this muscle, I need to turn off this muscle. We build this through growth from a young age. We build it. It's through trial and error. It's through failure. It's like a baby. A baby is the most beautiful thing on the world, in the planet, because a baby learns how to walk through failure, through fall. They touch things, they burn. Right? It's the same type of thing. Now, we as adults, we somehow have stopped our growth mechanisms, our success mechanisms, based on other people's beliefs, in what they believe, and we've taken it in, and it's affected us. So we don't believe that we can be successful anymore. We don't get up to learn. We don't read more. We don't open our minds up to new types of development, to new types of thinking. We stop growth. We stop it. Because, like Alva says, we doubt. We've only adapted doubt in our minds because of somebody else's doubt and somebody else's failures that has influenced us to start thinking exactly the same. Okay, so it's an awesome book, but my biggest takeaway on how to build self-confidence, build self-esteem, which is so important, because that's what we are. We need self-esteem, we need self-confidence in order to grow.